Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. It was off to the races today at the United Way of the Southern Tier. Our Josh Stuttle takes us to this year's tricycle race, which had competitors pedaling for a good cause.
These businesses behind me are normally filled with people working, but today it was all about the tricycle. People from the financial institutions take part in the trike race every year to raise money for those in need. Lois Wilson is Director of Communications for the United Way.
This is the 19th annual trike race that's held here at Community Bank in downtown Elmira, and it's a benefit for United Way, the Southern Tier.
The President and Chief Executive Officer for the United Way of the Southern Tier, Stephen Hughes, explains the impact and importance of this event.
We invite citizens from as far west as Hornell to the Elmira-Chemung County community to contribute so that we can partner with agency and programs that are aligned with things the community cares deeply about, and that's children, senior citizens, and the folks that struggle the most meeting the very basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. And so all totaled, we exceed $3.5 million for that effort, and we distribute those resources so that impact can be made in the lives of people who need our help.
Jesse Ribb of the First Heritage Credit Union was the big winner of this year's trike race.
This event is very special to us at First Heritage because we always love to find any opportunity we can to support the United Way.
For more information about this event and how you can donate, you can visit uwst.org. Josh Stuttle, Big Fox News, Elmira.
You have a chance to make sure your child's car seat is installed correctly tomorrow. The Steuben County Sheriff's Office is hosting a car seat safety check tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. at the Steuben County Fairgrounds in Bath. The Strong Kids, Safe Kids event is free and will run until 3 p.m. An update tonight on a larceny investigation in Elmira. Police credit help from the public for tracking down these two women. The police department posted their picture on social media yesterday, asking for help identifying them. They were wanted for stealing groceries and other items from a supermarket on West 2nd Street in Elmira. Well, police now report, thanks to the public's help, both women have been identified and charges have been filed. New York State Police say at least 2 people are confirmed dead after a bus carrying members of a high school band overturned on a highway. The crash happening Thursday afternoon on I-84 in Orange County. This is video from the crash site showing the bus on its side in an embankment. School district officials have confirmed that members of the Farmingdale High School band were on the bus that crashed. Police believe a tire gave way, causing the bus to roll into a ditch. The bus was one of 6 buses carrying band members to a camp in Pennsylvania. Governor Hochul says the entire state is grieving this loss.
But certainly there are families grieving today. They say grief is the price you pay for love. We have families, we have a school district, county, and indeed an entire state that is grieving at this time.
The crash is being investigated by the National Transportation Safety Board and the New York State Police. It is looking more and more likely that the U.S. government could partially shut down at the end of next week. Republicans can't seem to get their house in order. Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
The halls of Congress mostly empty, with the House and Senate off until next week, even with the government barreling towards a shutdown. The House Rules Committee will still be working, though, prepping a series of spending bills for debate. Republicans who control the House can't seem to come together to keep the government funded. Hardliners want to slash the budget instead of supporting a temporary fix.
We've got to have a reasonable number. We've got to stop this spending with what the Biden administration is doing.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says his far-right colleagues are derailing negotiations. But if the Speaker turns to Democrats for help, he could get ousted.
Is the Speaker's job on the line?
Yes, it is.
Congress must pass 12 appropriation bills to prevent a shutdown, or else they need to pass a short-term bill to keep the funding flowing. But with the fiscal year ending on September 30th, lawmakers are running out of time.
We should put the pain on members of Congress. If you can't get the budget bills passed, suspend their pay until they get it passed.
If a shutdown happens, it would be the fourth time in a decade, closing national parks, monuments, and military training centers.
Unless McCarthy can rein his most extremist MAGA faction in, it's inevitable.
The president of the United Auto Workers Union says his members aren't backing down and announced shutdowns at all parts distribution centers at GM and Stellantis. In an online message to UAW members, Union President Shawn Fain says the stand-up strike is aimed at getting workers a record deal. Fain praised the workers who have walked off the job at the country's big three auto manufacturing plants. Fain has said future strikes can be avoided if progress is made toward an agreement. New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez has been indicted on federal corruption charges. The longtime Senate Democrat was charged today after a lengthy investigation by federal prosecutors in New York. The indictment, which also names Menendez's wife and a prominent New Jersey real estate developer, accuses the trio, among others, of participating in a corruption scheme. A previous trial against Menendez, but on unrelated corruption charges, ended with a hung jury. Rising rates of suicide across the country are putting mental health professionals on high alert. And because September is National Suicide Prevention Month, medical experts are sharing best practices for recognizing warning signs. Sue Guzman has more.
While September marks National Suicide Prevention Month, mental health experts say raising awareness and reducing the stigma around asking for help should be happening year-round, especially since provisional data from the CDC found nearly 50,000 people in the U.S. took their own lives last year alone, a tragic new record. The CDC says many factors can contribute to suicide risk, including a history of depression, financial problems, substance use, bullying, and more.
We know that individuals who are identifying as part of the LGBTQ plus community are at higher risk for suicide. Women are more likely to attempt suicide, and men are more likely to die by suicide, and that is because of their greater likelihood of using lethal means such as firearms.
If you recognize someone may be at risk, psychologists say creating a safe space for a judgment-free conversation is critical.
Another misconception is that if we ask a person at risk if they're having thoughts of suicide or harming themselves, that we're actually going to cause them to die by suicide or put the idea in their heads. And the research does not support that. In fact, by having a conversation around suicide, we open the door for someone to communicate about their needs and to offer the needed support.
The CDC reports the largest increases in suicides have been among older adults 65 and up. Mental health professionals advise anyone needing immediate support to call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Your complete weekend forecast is next. Plus this.
The White House is launching the nation's first federal office of gun violence prevention. I'm Kevin Cork. I've got details coming right up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. I hope you had a wonderful Friday as we had those bright skies continue to keep us very comfortable. But we are talking about some changes. One, we are keeping a very close eye on now Tropical Storm Ophelia. It was named earlier this afternoon. What we're noting is that Ophelia is bringing wind speeds upwards of almost about 70 miles per hour and expected to continue to work its way into North Carolina as we head into our Saturday and then move its way to the north, which is going to start to send some cloud cover and some showery conditions up through portions of New York here as we head into our weekend forecast. We're not expecting large impacts, but we're at least going to be seeing that some of the outer bands of Ophelia is what's going to bring in some of that increasing cloud cover, as well as some lingering showers, which will hold through about Monday as that system will then pull off towards the northeast and bring us on the backside of it, which is going to allow for some cooler and fall-like weather as we head into next week, which it is coming just in time as we are heading into fall tomorrow. tomorrow. The fall equinox occurs at about 12:50 in the very early morning hours. That is when the sunshine falls over, the sun angle falls right over the equinox, and it is going to be heading into the southern hemisphere, which starts to bring those darker days and those cooler temperatures. Now, we're going to stay very seasonable as we head into next week, but we are going to note that when we bring in these cooler temperatures, it starts to signal the fall foliage to change. Now, earlier this week when it was updated, we started to see some low color changing across the Northeast. We'll get another update on Monday, and it's going to start to show that moderate color as these temperatures really influence those leaves to change, and it happens pretty quickly for the Northeast. Once we get that first push of some cooler air, we hit peak by about the end of the month into early October. So it is going to be some fall seeking time setting up, which we have some gorgeous weather ahead for that. Now, the weekend, you'll have to battle some of the cloud cover and some of those showers. Saturday looking to stay largely dry to start, as we'll have those increasing clouds holding us to those mid-60s. By the end of the day, though, we will start to see those rain showers move in. So here's some of those outer bands of those rain showers spreading up through Pennsylvania, already bringing some impacts to New York by the start of the day. And then we'll see that those rain showers will start to march towards the area as we head into the afternoon and evening. Looking at maybe a few moderate pockets by the end of the day, but it really falls apart when it gets farther and farther away from the center of that low pressure system. Into Sunday, there will be more rounds that head towards the area where accumulation through Sunday evening shows anywhere from about a few tenths of an inch farther off towards the northwest to even getting upwards of an inch closer to the system, as it will dissipate as it works into portions of Pennsylvania by the end of the weekend. So we'll continue to monitor the system, but as mentioned, biggest impacts are going to be working in those cooler temperatures, some of that cloud cover, and then those light rain showers that will be hit and miss all weekend. So have the umbrella on hand. Start to make sure to have an extra layer on hand as well. The showers will move out on Monday, and then the backside of that system will keep us into those 60s, but the sunshine is expected to return.